Hey guys, welcome back to my garage, but mostly welcome back to the Ducati 959 Panigale Corse. As you guys can see, the bike is very well built down here, but it's all OEM up here. So today we're gonna fix that and we're gonna start adding some bling to the front. How we're gonna do that? We're gonna put Ducati reservoir, both clutch and brake. We're gonna put Rizoma grips on over here. We also gonna put TWM levers. TWM is an Italian company that pretty much makes the same levers for Ducati Performance. Those are just branded TWM instead. We're gonna put those in, and on the same note we're gonna put the brake lever guard on there as well. So now for the chit chat, get on it. So we're gonna start with the two reservoirs up front, and first of all is gonna be the clutch reservoir. What we need to do is empty this thing up and replace it. On the clutch side we only need to replace the reservoir itself. The bracket and the hose in theory stay the same, but never know, so let's start taking it apart. First of all, I'm gonna loosen it up. Never know. Second thing to do is to empty the reservoir itself. Remember, the fluid is corrosive, so you do not want it to leak anywhere at all. Here we go. Once you empty the reservoir, it's time to remove it, and removing the reservoir is really easy. You just have to take the hose off and reservoir out. This is the brand new beautiful reservoir, and let's put it in. This is really easy, literally. It doesn't take a genius to do it. Put the hose clamp back where it's supposed to be, and now we just put everything back together. So one is in, I'm gonna do the other one. I'm not gonna put any fluid into any of them yet, because when I start bleeding, I'm gonna bleed everything together. The brake side is gonna be a little bit different. On the brake side, they actually give you the whole bracket as well. So let's remove the bracket and go from there. Since for this installation you have the old bracket and everything, what I'm gonna do is remove the old reservoir without emptying it by pinching this hose over here. I'm gonna pull the hose right from here. Okay, and the whole thing comes off. The new reservoir comes with the bracket itself, so you put the rubber grommet on the reservoir, then you put in the bracket and tie it with this screw. And because the bracket is different than the OEM bracket, it doesn't actually go there, but it goes over here on the clip-on. So this is gonna be here, and because the shorter distance between the two nipples over here, we are going to have to shorten out the hose. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna put the provided plug in there where it's supposed to go, because we're not gonna use that hole anymore. Now that I've done that, I'm gonna start undo this. Now if I don't move anything, everything is gonna stay as it is. Ducati gives you those little spacers that go in here and create an even surface for the new bracket. So the new bracket goes in there, nice and even, and they obviously give you longer bolts to go in there. They're the same size Allen, which is a 6mm. At this point we have to shorten the hose. You might want to measure twice and cut once, because once you cut a piece of it, that's it. That's it. The reservoirs are in and they make such a big difference. So the only thing I need to do right now is put fresh .4 fluid in it and bleed the brakes and the clutch. I'm not gonna put the bleeding procedure into the video, otherwise this video would be 30 minutes long and I have plenty more to install on the bike, so I'm gonna refill the .4 in there and I'll catch you guys up in a minute. One shirt and two reservoirs later, the reservoir have been installed and bled properly, so now the brakes are nice and firm, as well as the clutch is engaging properly. So it's now time to take care of the levers. Levers should be way easier. So what you need is a 4mm Allen key for the top and a 10mm for the bottom. When this comes out, the whole lever should just slide out. And you just pull the plunger off the rubber part down here. And that's it. Lever's out. At this point, you guys get this provided little plunger over here and put some good grease on it. With the help of something small, try to hold this thing out and try to put this thing in, which is not as easy as the instruction make a sound. And the plunger needs to go all the way in so that the collar of the rubber grommet goes inside the recess on the plunger. This is really straightforward. There should be enough grease from the OEM not to be needing any more. At least on this bike there is a ton. And then just push that in and put this through. Once this is through, now the lever holds itself in. I'm gonna tie that still with a 4mm. And do not forget that there is a nut on the underside. Now this lever obviously is anti-brake, so if you fall, this one comes up rather than snap, and it's also adjustable from this knob up front. You guys can see it going closer and going further. The last thing we need to check is the brake light. And it seems to be working just fine. So brake lever is in, moving on. The clutch side is more of the same, so we have a nut on the bottom, which is harder to get to because of the micro switch for the quick shift. That's it. And this one, just like the other one, pulls out. Make sure the grease is nice and in there. And it's time to put in the lever, which is the same procedure as before. Okay. That works. And the adjustability. That's it. Both levers in. The lever were a breeze to put in, so it's now time to put those Rizoma grips on it. To put the Rizoma grips, you need obviously to remove the bar end weights, which, if I don't remember wrong, they're kind of hard to do. There you go. And then we need to remove the old throttle assembly, which requires you to open up those screws, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, one of which is a 3-point weird thing. So you take this apart and pull the throttle out. Put the Rizoma in. So once this in and it works properly, one thing to do is first put the screw back in there. At this point the new grips are in and looking great, by the way. Since we're gonna put the lever guard over here, the lever guard comes with those bar ends. So we're gonna put that in there and put the lever guard in later on. The Allen key is at 5 millimeters. It's a good thing to have the brake lever protector with those grips, because those grips leave a little bit of the handlebar uncovered. So when you put this in, it's less noticeable. And now we can actually adjust the length of the protector. Gonna tie it up. And that's it. Let's go to the other side. This side is even easier than the throttle side, if that is actually possible. Maybe. Okay. Let's get this half a mile worth of thread out of the handlebars. Now, just so you guys know, those bar end weights are heavy for a reason. They might not look like much, but they're really heavy because a weight at the end of the handlebar dampens the vibration. The new bar hand, which is going to be like this and way lighter, is not going to damp vibration as good as the OEM. Just like any other hand grip, you do put some air in and pull it out. Easy as that. When it comes to the left hand side, the Rizoma gives you those little screws over here that go inside the aluminum part of the grip. One thing you gotta put in is this spacer, provided by Rizoma, by the way. So spacer is going in, grip in, and tight those little Allen keys. I think it's a two, maybe 2.5 millimeters. It doesn't get any easier than this. So we installed new reservoirs, new grips, new lever, and also the lever protectors for the front brake. They look fantastic. They match the bike very well. So I'm very pleased with it. We bleed the brakes properly. The brake seems to work. The clutch seems to work. So we're all good. Now, for everything I used in this video, check the description down below. There might be links for anything. If you guys want to support the channel, check the support link down as well. Leave a comment if you have any experience with those parts that we installed today, and if you think that we should use a different part on the bike as well. Other than that, if you like the video, like. If you love the video, subscribe. Right on, and I'll see you next time.